Morning when we start with John Denver. I wanted to have a really provocative title for my first sermon back, so I chose Sunshine Almost Always Makes Me High. And I appreciate the nice John Denver introduction. That was wonderful. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm Justin. Some people call me Reverend Justin, and some people call me a bunch of other names that I won't mention here. But for anybody in the know, I want to give you my thanks for all your condolences on the death of my father, for all the love that you surrounded me with, to James and Rebecca, who took over service for me when I couldn't be here, and to this church that I was looking forward to getting back to because of the warmth that you create in this space. To everyone else, I'd like to welcome you to Hope Unitarian Church. It's wonderful to see you today, and I am Justin. You can call me Justin. And if you're new to Unitarian Universalism, one of the things I always like to say is that we're covenantal, we're not creedal. That means we focus on what we do together, and we focus on how we can change the world, more so than on what we individually believe about God or anything in the divine realm. We focus on how we can make this world a better place for everybody. We focus on how we can lift each other up in love instead of whether we believe this or that, whether we read this book or that book. So as you come into service with us today, some things might sound very different, and at the end of the day, some things might sound very much the same, but I hope something resonates with you this morning. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, and whatever your life circumstances, you are welcome here. At this time, I would invite you to rise and embody your spirit as we sing our hymn of gathering. We are here together in this holy moment, and we're grateful for the winding road that brought us to this place, and we're grateful for the winding road that brought us to this place. And let's say these words together. Remember, a flame needs oxygen, or its brilliance is diminished. We also need oxygen, or our brilliance is diminished. In this world of relative time, it's easier than you think to forget to breathe. Don't forget to breathe. You may be seated. This invocation is called Uncover. Uncover your ears. Listen for melodious rhythms, because they will enrich your soul. Uncover your eyes and see that you are surrounded by hope, and know its gentle embrace. Uncover your mouth and let free a new song with harmonies from the heart. Let your hands fall, for there is no evil where love presides. Let's say our covenant together. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. I would again invite you to rise and embody your spirit as we sing our first hymn, hymn number 145, As Tranquil Streams. As tranquil may be seated.
Okay, I'm Janet Nobles, and I'm here with a few announcements. On 11:30 on Wednesday, if you would like to visit and have lunch, the Lunch Bunch is meeting at Wednesday at Mitera at 6030 South Yale at 11:30. Mary Baird, right over there. Give her a call if you would like to attend to make sure that there's a place at the table. And then we have game night, which is on Thursday at 6:30, and I think James Hefner is the one you need to get in touch with. And anyway, 6:30, and I think there's snacks and games, and bring the game you want to play. It's lots of fun. I'm skipping Hope Carnival because I'm not allowed.
It's not that you're not allowed.
Feed the Homeless is this Saturday, and as we say, service is our law. And if you want a chance to be of service, this is an easy place to fulfill that. You spend an hour, you feed the homeless, and it's just a lovely experience. You can also help with the food. And then there are a number of other places where you can be of service, and they're telecast on that television in the lobby. And finally, Joanne's Art Show is in Fort Smith on this Saturday. It's from 10 to 4, and she says there will be 80 artists featured and that you don't have to buy one of her paintings. But Deborah Whitaker's taking a car, and see Joanne or Deborah if you'd like to hop in the car and take a trip and have a nice day in Fort Smith. Oh, and last Sunday, Elkie didn't come to church because she probably knew we'd sing happy birthday to her. So,
Sorry, we did it anyway.
This is a reminder for our Fun Fest Carnival for all ages, and I do mean all ages. We will have relay races. Apparently, there's a game called Granny Pants. There will be a dunk tank. I like the word that Morgan put in something earlier. She said, Reverend Justin might even make a splash.
James said he'd ride.
All right. Water slide, bounce house, giant Jenga, Connect 4. We'll have games and prizes. We'll have just a chance to hang out and have a good time together. There'll be music playing, and it'll just be a good time for everybody. There'll be snacks, dinner. It's just going to be fun. The cost is, at this time, $15 for adults and $5 for children up until the last Monday before. Then it goes up to $20 for adults and $10 for children. So it's good to get your price to do it now. And you might be asking the question, why are we charging for this? Because we've never tried to do anything this big in the summer before. And to do that, we needed to create a budget for it. So I would invite you to, if you are struggling to make the price, don't let that be a hindrance. Come talk to me. That is not hard for me to work out. And if you would like to make an extra donation towards the carnival for people who need scholarships, please feel free to do so. You can buy your tickets online, or you can buy them at the stand outside, but it will be fun. It will be exciting. And folks, I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be a hard setup, but I think it's going to be worth it. And I invite you all to come out and have a good time and see what we have to offer. And did I hear that James was going to try and make a splash too? I think people, and here's the deal about the dunk tank. Here's the deal about the dunk tank. It is a ticket to throw the ball from the normal spot. However, you can pay to get closer. There is even a price to walk up and push the button yourself.
I think I changed my mind.
You're already in. So, come out, have fun, and see if you can dunk some people. I stood at the crossroads before me, and there were 3 paths. One led to a great overlook with a sign, and the sign said, "For sale." But I had no collateral to offer. Another spanned infinite, reaching to a horizon, and I heard a voice whisper, "All that the sun touches can belong to you." But all I possess possesses me. At the foot of the third seat, or at the third road, sat a rusty crown, hastily inscribed, "All the kingdoms of the world could be yours." But I have little traffic with kings. So I turned around, walked back along the road from which I came, for these roads had nothing for me. And my dinner was getting cold, and I didn't want my wife to worry.
Sunshine on My Shoulder by John Denver. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine on the water looks so lovely. Sunshine almost always makes me high. If I had a day that I could give you, I'd give you a day like today. And if I had a song I could sing for you, I'd sing a song to make you feel this way. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine on the water looks so lovely. Sunshine almost always makes me high. If I had a tale that I could tell you, I'd tell a tale sure to make you smile. If I had a wish that I could wish for you, I'd make a wish for sunshine all the while. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine in the water looks so lovely. Sunshine almost always makes me high. Sunshine almost always makes me high.
$525,600 minutes, 525,000 journeys to plan, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure the life of a woman or a man?
In truth that she learned, or in times that he cried, in bridges he burned, or the way that she died. Let's celebrate.
40 million viewers tuned in to CBS's Friday night movie. The opening scene involved a train of Volkswagen microbuses, beat-up cars, and motorcycles heading to a mountain cabin in Washington state. They got out of their cars with guitars and banjos and any other stringed instrument you could think of. And one of the men walked to the cliff holding an urn. A small blonde child followed him. While he began to reflect personally on the beautiful scene and the person contained within the urn, the guitars and banjos and tambourines started to play the song Country Roads by John Denver. They began to echo through the mountains, and while the song played, the man ceremoniously tipped the urn, and the ashes were carried away by the wind. The movie Sunshine became the most watched direct-to-TV docudrama in history. It spawned a book, a hit record, and a short-lived television series following its successful debut on CBS. For a time, this movie became a cultural phenomenon. It followed a woman named Kate and her husband Sam with their daughter Jill as they tried to live out their countercultural values as hippies, coping with Kate's late-stage cancer. Kate, 19 years old at the time, struggled with the diagnosis, and the only options to address it were either amputation or chemo and radiation. She didn't want to lose her leg. She didn't want to be sick. She wanted to live a long life, raise her child with peace, raise her child with a peace that she did not feel growing up. She wanted to raise her child surrounded by the love of a community and then one day become a grandmother. After hearing that these invasive procedures might give her only 2 years, she began to record her journey on cassette tapes, so her child has a memory of her mother's voice and her mother's belief system to lean on. The television movie is a fictionalized story about the life of Jacqueline Helton. The reason that the movie is so hard to find, having had all of its success, involves some of the liberties that the studio took with the story to make it more exciting, but cost them a lawsuit. But the fact was, the core themes of the movie remained the same. In the movie and in real life, the cassette recorder that Jacqueline had been using was stolen one day with all of her tapes in 1971. Because she was well known in the community, this made national news, and news traveled to one of her favorite singers, John Denver. Though he never met her, and he heard her story, in following the theft, she was anonymously gifted a new cassette recorder and cassette tapes so she could continue recording her story. At her funeral, they played Country Roads and sang together. John Denver was so moved by this, knowing that she was a fan of his, that he allowed many of his songs to be used in the movie Sunshine. Country Roads, My Sweet Lady, and the song that at the time had not made much of a splash, Sunshine on My Shoulders. The song Sunshine on My Shoulders is sung twice. First, when Sam and Kate meet, then when Kate is in pain and asks for Sam to sing her something to make her feel better. He sings Sunshine on My Shoulders, and the scene transitions to a hospital where she begins to receive radiation. Prior to the movie, the song had been released twice. First in 1971 on Poems, Prayers, and Promises, and then as the B-side of another single. I think I'm a Cowboy, as I think what the name was. Something about a cowboy. But the song hadn't had much success until it appeared in the movie Sunshine. After Sunshine aired in 1973, the song finally found its audience blew up, being re-released as an A-side single in late 1973, shortly after the premiere. Though Denver would have gone down in fame anyway, this song might have been relegated to the B-sides had it not been for the movie Sunshine. If it hadn't been the movie that was lost to time due to legal issues, the song Sunshine on My Shoulders may have never found success. And as I begin to research Sunshine on My Shoulders, its meaning and intent, it's impossible to talk about the song's meaning and impact without talking about this obscure movie from 1973. So I watched this very difficult movie to find. It's not streaming. It was never released for home viewing, not on VHS, not on DVD. In fact, my acquisition of the movie lives in a legal gray area. Someone had randomly posted the whole movie on a Facebook reel. I did not know this person. In fact, the name was in another language using a completely different alphabet. So I did what anyone would do. I ripped the movie off of Facebook and streamed it to my television. However, I did find that one could purchase a ready-to-print Blu-ray disc of this by a company that just buys up movie copyrights and sells them print-by-need basis. And so I did, as I do with the majority of the poetry I use, I bought a copy, which should be here in 10 days to 2 weeks. So if anyone wants to borrow it, you have to give it back because it is hard to get a hold of. It'll be here in 10 days to 2 weeks. And I'm not just saying this to sound cool or hip. I'm saying it to point out that the irony, that is, the song became a hit because of this movie that fell is bad. I love Sharknado. I may go home and watch it today. And I believe Sharknado has its place in history. However, I wouldn't mind if the song Sunshine on My Shoulders outlives the movie Sharknado. Now, if you're wondering where I'm going with all of this, I think this is about loss, especially what we lose to time. And I would suspect that many of you have learned to cope with this loss, not out of desire, but out of need. John Denver reflects on this loss, and he sings, "Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes makes me cry. Sunshine on the water looks so lovely, and sunshine almost always makes me high." The words of this song evoke warmth and hope, but the melody does not. The melody tells us it's a sad song. Christy, can you give us an example of the melody? Thank you. John Denver wrote this song in late winter, early spring in Minnesota. If you can imagine what the temperature is like in late winter, early spring in Minnesota, apparently the snow was melting, but it was still too cold to go outside and play. But there was enough of something in the air preparing for spring. So he would talk about how much he wanted to get back out into nature, but it was so dreary outside, and from that melancholy, he wrote this song. The song had 2 verses, and the first one goes like this. If I had a day that I could give you, I'd give you a day just like today. If I had a song that I could sing to you, I'd sing a song to make you feel this way. And without having learned Denver's feelings when he wrote the song, I really wouldn't have made full sense of the song. Without seeing the movie Sunshine, I still don't think I would have made full sense of the song. It's the lyrics so hopeful and the strings so melancholy. And what I realize when he's talking, when he says, if I'd give you a day just like today, he's not talking about the day that he was writing the song. He's talking about some day in the past or some day in the future that he's imagining, that fills him with joy in thinking forward in hope. His second verse continues on this theme. If I had a talent that I could tell you, or if I had a tale that I could tell you, I'd tell a tale that makes you smile. If I had a wish that I could wish for you, I'd make a wish for sunshine all the while. I wonder sometimes if we'd become spoiled as a people if we were given only bright, sunshiny days. If we lived in a garden specifically made for us so that we need not toil ever, so that all we could ever want was within arm's reach, and that love is not just the spirit of this church, but in all places. I wonder, would we learn to grow and change? Would we learn to be more than we were if every day was a sunshiny day? See, I don't know if I like that path, the one that I'm starting to go down. Is there a way to talk about the difficult days that isn't so fatalistic? That leads me down a path toward a philosophy I'd rather not believe? That pain and hurt are necessary for our edification? That we must suffer for good? I refuse to believe that God created sorrow as a tool and pain as a riding crop. That he created the mournful days of late winter so we would better appreciate the sunshine on our shoulders. I will not give in to that way of thinking. But it's easy to, isn't it? To explain away sorrow and suffering as something we have to go through for our betterment. To give meaning to our pain so that it wasn't for nothing. That suffering may be our salvation. No, it's thinking that leaves me always. It's that thinking that always leaves me to wait and leaves me anxious for this other shoe to fall without ever asking the question, why is someone throwing shoes anyway? What if there was no meaning to our pain or our struggles? Would that make it better or worse? In the movie Sunshine, the song Sunshine on My Shoulders is used as a narrative device to show the passage of time. The first time Sam sings it, it's because he's trying to impress Kate, because he thinks she's pretty and she's flirting with him. It's because it's someone he just met. But the second time he sings it, she's lying on the couch, tired from pain, getting ready to receive radiation. One filled with the excitement of new love, another the pain that comes with that love. Having said that, I think the most important aspect of that is that they were both together during those times. The movie is just as much about Sam's learning to cope with the loss of Kate as Kate learning to cope with the shadow that hangs over her darkening face and still finding a way to be remembered, to be known by her child. So I'm going to take a leap here in my sermon, but don't worry, I promise there is a conclusion. The longest lasting human species to walk the earth was Homo erectus, one of our ancestors, and they lasted 1.5 to 2 million years before either evolving or dying off. Consider that. 1.5 to 2 million years of parents giving birth to children who become parents and give birth to other children who had jobs, though they may look much different from our jobs, celebrated life events, though those events might be actually very similar to our life events. They even liked art. They built tools, and they shaped the world to the best of their ability. of that species of human, we have remains from about 80 people. And most of those remains are fragments. But we do have one full skeleton. A human species that walked the earth for 1.5 to 2 million years, we have one full skeleton. How much was lost to time? The thing is, maybe they're not gone. Homo erectus evolved and became Homo heidelbergensis. And from them, they became Homo sapiens, us. We are connected to those hunter-gatherers from 1.5 million years ago, and those that come after us will be connected to us. But I promised you a conclusion. So here it is. I've been reflecting on what we lose in time, in the suffering and the pain that goes with that. I talk about lost things and found things like that movie. I talk about sad things also like the movie. And I talk about a lot of things I don't have answers to, like the meaning of suffering. But I struggle with everything out there being lost to time. As I stand here, I know I will never again sit on my grandmother's front porch, or dig in my grandfather's garden, or go to church on Christmas Eve at the Methodist church with my grandmother. And my dad will never be able to fly wherever I am and help me move again. These are things that are lost to time, save the memory that remains. But I will have a chance to sit in front of my camper with Alicia, with my dogs, with my nieces and nephews and my children. I will find an opportunity to touch the ground again, and maybe I'll never grow anything again, but I will be able to dig in the dirt. And the ground will always be beneath my feet, reminding me that I stand on a strong foundation. I may not ever get to go to a Christmas Eve service with my grandmother again, but I will be here on Christmas Eve, and I will lead a service that I feel like my grandmother would be proud of. And as for helping people move, I'm sorry, I think I'm busy that weekend. But I'll never wonder if my dad loved me. We are a drop in the ocean, folks, that is laid out before us in time. Our bodies will return, and even one day earth will pass away, and the atoms of you and I will still exist, being recycled over and over again. But rejoice, for long before that, we will have the opportunity to say each other's names, to know one another, to hold each other's hands, to comfort one another in the pain and the suffering, to tell the stories of those who walked on ahead of us into the unknown. Rejoice that we have a community in which we matter, and that we can make and help make the lives of other people matter and find memory. As Denver sang, if I had a tale that I could tell you, I'd tell a tale sure to make you smile. If I had a wish that I could wish for you, I'd make a wish for sunshine all the while. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have a lot of answers this morning. Maybe that's okay. And if this sermon reminds us of anything, it's that I'm not always even sure what question I'm asking in the sermon or in life. But I'll leave you with this. Don't forget the first law of thermodynamics. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. And at the end, all we are is energy. Thank you. Our generosity recipient for July is the Demand Project. And I'll admit that I haven't had a chance to look up much of what they do, but I know that our outreach committee has, and that I have full faith in the decisions that our outreach committee makes, so that I know because of them that this is a worthy place to make donations for our generosity recipient. Our generosity recipient at this church, we choose one place a month to give our plate away to. Giving our plate away means that all the cash and all special donations made to the collection go to that organization. If you'd like to make a donation to the Demand Project, make your checks out to Hope Unitarian Church and put generosity on the memo line. Checks with no notation will be applied to your pledge or to the operating fund. If you have cash, you can put it in the plate and it will go to our generosity recipient. At this time, I ask that you donate well, that you donate in love, and you donate in hope for the future. Say our response to the offering. We build on foundations we did not lay. We warm ourselves at fires we did not light. We sit in the shade of trees we did not plant. We drink from wells we did not dig. We profit from persons we did not know. We are ever bound in community. Let's sing one more hymn. Rise, embody your spirit as you feel called, and we'll sing hymn number 100, Peace Like a River.
Like a river,
Let's extinguish the chalice together. We extinguish this flame, the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fires of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. If I had a day that I could give you, I'd give you a day just like today. If I had a song that I could sing for you, I'd sing a song to make you feel this way. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. Sunshine in my eyes can make me cry. Sunshine on the water looks so lovely. And let's say it together, folks. Sunshine almost always makes me high. Have a good day.